Tuesday we were looking just at some concepts about, let's just say, grab Tard's sleeve. Ideally I want collar and sleeve, but maybe he's posturing. I'm moving back and I'm throwing in the lasso. Okay. Once I am in that position, this leg is free. I'm baiting Card into trying to make a grip, and when he bends over to make that grip, then I find the collar, foot comes back into the hip, and then my other foot is going into the shoulder, bicep area, and then I push so shoulders tilt, so one shoulder's higher than the other, and now from here, Card can't break the grip. Okay. The only thing he can do is swim inside, and when he does, I swim my foot inside. That's him coming under. If he comes over, I just find the bicep and the shoulder and come back in again. So we're just kind of playing this whole game. You can play it with your knee on the outside, with your knee on the inside. Let's just talk about boring concepts. We'll be starting techniques next week, but these are very important things we want to be thinking about. We want to be thinking about managing the distance inside this collar and sleeve guard. If I make the collar grip and I'm close to Card and he just postures from there, it's very hard to keep that grip. But notice the way if I'm further back from Card, as he pulls, look, he's pulling me in, but as I'm back here, this grip is very easy kept. So of course then I'll put in a wedge. So if he tries to break that grip now, the further he is away from me, the stronger this grip is. Does that make sense? So breaking posture is easier the further he is, so we need to keep him at a distance. This also applies to if I am playing collar and sleeve, and we're here, the further I am from Card, if Card tries to swim inside with his grips, I showed you how when we make it's not just four fingers inside, but thumb inside, the thumb's over the top. This detail takes the slack out of the game. So when Card turns his wrist, I just turn my wrist. If he goes the other way, I just come the other way. And now that ability to do that. But if Card was closer to me, it's significantly easier for him to break that grip. So the further Card is away from me, the harder it is for him to really pummel his hand and make the grip. So that's the second thing of why we want to keep him at a distance. The third thing is, next week we're going to be looking at the triangle from here and the omoplata. Both of those require an open elbow. So notice the way if I'm further away from Card and I'm keeping him at a distance, Card tries to get his right elbow back to his body. It's just not happening. But watch what happens if he walks in a little bit. Now he can get that back very, very easily. So this ability of managing the space is something you probably do when you're playing this guard, but you just don't do it around. You know? So it's a concept. I wouldn't say it applies to livery guard. Lapel guards and X guard would be different, but in most guards like De La Hiva, here, or double sleeve, I would be looking to keep them at a distance, if that makes sense. So how do we keep them at a distance? Well, from Tuesday night's move, yes, I used the shallow lasso. I know when we taught the omoplata mesocycle, we were going deep with the lasso, which allowed us to get into omoplatas. The problem is if I go deep, Card can actually just come where the distance move forward. I'm not controlling that space. The reason we were going shallow was drive in. I can just keep him at a distance with that foot. So that's my first way of controlling distance with the shallow lasso. Obviously the foot. Card drives in towards me now. My foot on his hip keeps him there. If I can't get the foot on the hip, and if you're playing collar and sleeve, that's the wedge you want. Sometimes you can use this De La Hiva. So if you're being particular of the De La Hiva, I don't want the sole of my foot pointing out to the side. I want a strong De La Hiva hook. So a strong De La Hiva hook would be the sole of my foot is in Card's tip. If that makes sense. So now when he drives into me, I'm just stomping him away, if that makes sense. Now again, we all have different body sizes in Jiu-Jitsu. If you're blessed with long legs,
you just go, and you'll get that foot in there. If you've got shorter legs or average legs like me, you might struggle a little bit. So how do we get a strong De La Riva hook in? I was always taught back in the day that you put your ass on their instep and then just put the De La Riva hook in. Unfortunately, Jiu-Jitsu's evolved a little bit more from then. I need to use my support leg on the side and move my hip back. And the further I move my hip back, that allows the space for me to go deep. But I don't enter straight down from here. Just twist it. I come at angle. Notice the way when I go to put in a left De La Riva hook, it'll be in my left hip. And now I want the distance here. So now when I actually thread that through, it's strong. That makes sense. And again, from there I don't even need my support leg, because I can just push away from this position. So many times when you're playing De La Riva and you have it shallow like this, the minute Kiara stuffs my support leg, steps over, I'm in deep shit. Whereas if I've got a strong De La Riva hook, and here, and right in, it's not going to happen. That support leg is keeping me here. That makes sense. So when we're playing our drill, we're just going to go back to what we did on Tuesday, but just we want to be thinking about managing that space. So when I eventually get my first grip, and I put in that shallow lasso, and I'm playing, I'm baiting him into making the grip, he can't pass unless he stuffs his leg. Okay? The minute he reaches for it, I find the collar, foot finds the hip, and then I find the shoulder. So now we're in the battle of obviously Carl wants to swim inside, I'm swimming inside, pushing on the shoulders, but now if I feel him walking in, I can keep him back with the foot, but two other things I can do. I can push with my foot, but I can walk on my butt. Does that make sense? I can do little shuffles on my butt. I can actually go flat on my shoulders and physically walk on my shoulders as well. But we're always managing that space so that Carl never gets close to me, trying to posture Carl. So I'm constantly breaking this posture, constantly keeping my grips, and when I get that little back into a whole game from that. Okay, so re-drill what we did on Tuesday, guys.